Hey, it's Lisa with ZZ Easy. Today is the 23rd of May, and it is hot outside. It is 15:20, so it's 3:20. I'm going to read in the Apocrypha, the books that were left out of the Bible. We are on the first book of Macabees, in the 3rd chapter. It's getting interesting, don't you think? The word for the day. Let's see what the word for the day is. It's always interesting to see what words they come up with, if I've heard of them or not. And most of them I hadn't, which I find kind of cool. Oh, today's edify. We know about edify. E-D-I-F-Y. Edify is to instruct, especially morally or spiritually. Edify. The fables about trickster animals were meant to edify people rather than simply entertain them. Or the gallery was created to edify visitors who came with an open mind. Edify, E-D-I-F-Y. You've heard of that one probably, I know. Tomorrow's Teratoid. Teratoid. What a word, right? Let me say a prayer. Oh, let me get the one that Carmen sent. It was a beautiful one. Thanks again, Carmen, for always sending beautiful. Well, that's not that one. Got a couple phones over here. It's so hot outside. I was out there shortly, and it was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I'm not going to do it out here. The mosquitoes, they're here. Ick. No good. All right, let's see this prayer here. Today's prayer. Father, thank you for your power, which is at work in us. Thank you for equipping us and calling us according to your good purpose. Give us your strength and your peace today, and keep our minds stuck on you. In Jesus' name, amen. That's a good one. Very good. Thank you again. The bottom part is, let me see, I gotta click on it here. Okay. By his divine power, God has given us everything we need for living a godly life. We have received all this by coming to know him, the one who called us to himself by means of his marvelous glory and excellence. 2 Peter 1:3. Amazing. That's so true. Thank you again, Carmen. It's such a blessing to have you in my life. Thank God for that too. All right. And David, thank you for always saying hey and giving me encouragement and compliments. Thank you. Okay, let's see here if I can even see in here. I may not be able to. Do I have the magnifying glass over here? No. All right, let's see. Then his son Judas, who was called Macabees, arose in his stead, and all his brothers and all who had stood by his father helped him, and with gladness carried on Israel's war. And he increased the glory of his people and put on a breastplate like a giant, and he belted on his weapons and organized campaigns, protecting his camp with the sword. He was like a lion in his actions and like a cub marrying for his prey. He pursued and hunted out those who disobeyed the law, and those who harassed his people he consumed. Those who disobeyed the law were convulsed with fear of him, and all who broke the law were dismayed, and deliverance was accomplished by his hand. He angered many kings and gladdened Jacob by his deeds, and his memory will be blessed forever. He went among the towns of Judah and destroyed the ungodly and cast them out of her, and averted wrath from Israel. He was renowned to the ends of the earth, and rallied those who were perishing. The Apollonians gathered the heathens together with a large force from Samaria to make war on Israel, and Judas learned of it and went out to meet him, and he struck him down and killed him. And many fell wounded, and the rest made their escape. And they took their spoils, and Judas took the sword of Apollonius and fought with it all his life. It is kind of hard to see in here. The Saran, the commander of the Syrian army, heard that Judas had gathered a following and a company of the faithful about him, and of men used to going not to war. And he said, in quotations, I will make myself a reputation and gain distinction in the kingdom, and I will make war on Judas and those who are with him, who set the king's command at naught, in quotation. And with him there went up again a strong body of ungodly men to help him to take vengeance on the Israelites. And he approached the pass of Beth Horon, and Judas went out with very few men to meet him. But when they saw the army coming to meet them, they said to Judas, how can we, few as we are, fight with such a strong heart? Is that heart? I am having a hard time seeing in here. A strong... What is that? Can't see it. Dang it, can you read it? There you go, you can probably read it better. A strong, way down here. It is, I need my magnifying glass, I'm telling you. I can barely see in here. It's a struggle. It's no fun to read when you can't see. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? I'm sure you do, boo-baloo. So I think it says a strong host. How can we, few as we are, fight with such a strong host? This doesn't make sense. Besides, we are faint, for we have had nothing to eat today. And Judas said, it is easy for many to be enclosed in the hands of a few, and there is no difference in the sight of heaven between sawing through few. I'm gonna have to get a magnifying glass. I'm sorry. Can't see it. I got one right here though. It'll work. Pretty sure. Okay, maybe I can see better now. This would work. Okay. So, where we left off. How can we, few as we are, fight with such a strong host? Besides, we are faint, for we have had nothing to eat today. And Judas said, in quotations, it is easy for many to be enclosed in the hands of a few, and there is no difference in the sight of heavens between sawing through many or through few. For victory in war does not depend upon the size of the force, but strength comes from heaven. Amazing. It's true. They come against us full of violence and lawlessness to destroy us and our wives and our children, and to plunder us. But we are fighting for our lives and our laws. He himself will crush them before us, and you must not be afraid of them, in quotations. So true. That's like with life too, you know. When he ceased to speak, he fell suddenly upon them, and Saron and his army were crushed before him. And they pursued him from the pass of Bethoron to the plain, and 800 of them fell, and the rest made their escape into the country of the Philistines. So the fear of Judas and his brother and the dread of them became to fall upon the heathen around them, and his fame reached even the king, and the heathen talked of the tactics of Judas. And now I need to drink water. It's one of those things. I just can't seem to. I needed some good old lemon water. Hopefully you're drinking yours too. It does make you feel better throughout the day, and it also helps detoxify you. We all need detoxing, you know that. Okay, so the fear of Judas and his brothers and the dread of them began to fall upon the heathen around them, and his fame reached even the king, and the heathen talked of the tactics of Judas. When King Antiochus heard these reports, he was very angry, and he sent and gathered all the forces of his kingdom, a very strong army. And he opened his treasury and gave his forces a year's pay, and ordered them to be in readiness for any need that might arise. And he saw that money in his treasury was exhausted, and the tribute of the country was small, because of the division and distress that he had brought upon the land in doing away with the laws which had been in effect from the earliest times. And he feared that he would not have enough, as he formerly had, for his expenses and for the presents which he had been used to give before with a lavish hand, beyond the kings that went before him. So he was very much perplexed, and resolved to go to Persia and get the tribute of those countries and raise a large sum of money. And he left Lysias, and a man of distinction of the royal blood, to have charge of the king's affairs from the river Euphrates to the borders of Egypt, and to take care of Antiochus his son until his return. He turned over to him half his forces and his elephants, and gave him orders about everything he wanted done, and about the inhabitants of Judea and Jerusalem, against whom he was to send a force to crush out and destroy the strength of Israel and what was left of Jerusalem, and to effect their memory from the place, and settle aliens in all their borders, and distribute their land among them. Oh, let's hear that again. Wow. Okay, so let me read that one more time. It says, where is that one? Okay, so I guess it starts way up here. So he turned over to him half his forces and his elephants, and gave him orders about everything he wanted done, and about the inhabitants of Judea and Jerusalem, against whom he was to send a force to crush out and destroy the strength of Israel and what was left of Jerusalem, and to effect their memory from the place, and settle aliens in all their borders, and distribute their land among them. I think they're kind of still doing that now. All right, we're at 37, and there was how many? Oh, there was 60. See, I couldn't see that earlier. Then the king took the remaining half of his forces and set off from Antioch, his royal city, in the 147th year, and crossed the Euphrates River and went through the interior. The Lysias chose Ptolemy, son of Dormenes, and Nicanor and Gorgias, warlike men among the friends of the king. And he sent with them 40,000 men and 7,000 horse to go to the land of Judah and destroy it, as the king had commanded. And he set off with all his force, and they came and encamped near Emmaus, Emmaus, in the level country. And the merchants of the country heard about them, and they took a great quantity of silver and gold and fetters, and came to the camp to get the Israelites for slaves. And they were joined by forces from Syria and the land of Philistines. And Judas and his brethren saw that the situation was very grave, and that the forces were encamped within their borders. And they knew what the king had said, when he ordered them to inflict utter destruction on the people. And they said to one another, in quotations, "Let us repair the destruction of our people, and let us fight for our people and for the sanctuary," end quotations. And the congregation gathered together to make ready for war, and to pray and ask for mercy and compassion. Jerusalem was inhabited like a wilderness. There was not one of her children who came in or went out. The sanctuary was trodden down. The sons of aliens were in the citadel. It was a stopping place for heathen. Joy vanished from Jacob, and the flute and harp ceased to play. Then they gathered together and went to Mizpah, opposite Jerusalem, for Israel formerly had a praying place in Mizpah. And they fasted that day, and put on sackcloth, and sprinkled ashes upon their heads, and tore open their clothes. And they unrolled the roll of the law, such as the heathen used to hunt out and look for pictures of their idols. And they brought out the priestly garments and the first fruits and the tithes, and they gathered the Nazarites who had fulfilled their vows, and they called aloud to heaven. In quotations, what are we to do those men? What are we to do to those men, and where can we take them? When your sanctuary is trodden down and profaned, and your priests are grieved and humiliated. Here the heathen are gathered together against us to destroy us. You know their design against us. How can we make a stand before them unless you help us? And they sounded the trumpets and gave a great shout. Then Judas appointed officers over the people, colonels and captains and lieutenants and sergeants. And he ordered those who were building houses and planting vineyards and betrothed to women or were afraid, every one of them, to return home, as the law provided. And the army moved and encamped to the south of Emus. And Judas said, in quotations, prepare yourselves and be brave men and be ready in the morning to fight these heathen who are gathered together against us to destroy us and our sanctuary. For it is better for us to die in battle than to witness the ruin of our nation and our sanctuary. But he will do just as shall be the will of heaven, end quotation. That's the end of it, end quotation. Then tomorrow's 4. Wow, that's good. Don't you think? We're still kind of going through that now if you kind of look at it with open eyes and see what's going on. You have eyes to see and ears to hear. I need to get my hair trimmed or something because it's in my eyes. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless you. And I'll talk to you Sunday. God bless and goodbye. Leave a comment if you'd like. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks. Bye.